Hi there,
That's all
it's
right.
Al Feldman. I am here with the Pinecrest Mayor, Joe Corradino. We are sitting down once again to talk about COVID and its effects on our community. It is September the 8th. Joe, welcome. Tell me what's going on from a government perspective.
Thanks, Hal. Thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it. Well, I think we've this week passed two very important milestones. The first one is we've got the positivity rate down below 10%. In fact, I think it's down below 6% as of today, which is really good. At below 5%, and then we'll start looking at reopening or relaxing the regulations. I think the regulations of masks is likely very much here to stay for an indefinite period of time. They relaxed the regulations on restaurants last week. Also, we've hit a number. We are now below the peak for hospitalizations, the peak of where we were in April. We were at 710 in the peak of April. And now we're at about 623, which is very good. Now remember, the scary thing the doctors tell us is that September is a critical month. We've got Labor Day, which just happened. We will see a spike after Labor Day. We've seen a spike after every holiday going into it. Not only that, they project another wave sometime this fall, likely coupled with Labor Day weekend, likely coupled with the universities opening back up, cold and flu season in October. So how we come out of September, where we land in October 1st, we need to be definitely well below where we are now. And then we've got a running start for what's going to happen in the fall. If not, remember 2 weeks after Memorial Day, the numbers shot up and we couldn't control them until the end of July. And let's hope that's not happening now.
Well, you had raised somewhat of an alarm bell in the middle of the summer and said, boy, if we don't get this under control in the next week to 10 days, we're in trouble. And thankfully, what you had said had an impact, of course, with all the other folks saying the same thing. And we didn't get to that critical mass. And it's wonderful to hear what you just said, but also to be careful and vigilant about the fact that we just had Labor Day. We're expecting September to be a difficult month. And so, listen, I know I am, I'm sure you are, I'm tired of this vigilance. But what is keeping you in the right mindset day to day? Because I've gotten very used to be, keys, phone, wallet. Now a mask is definitely automatic in that routine if I step outside. I think I'm going out more often, but certainly not like I did back when. But what's your routine look like, and how do you keep vigilant?
Well, I think we're all fatigued. I think that's really a definite issue. We feel it, the kids feel it, our parents feel it. It's just unpleasant. I think we're learning more about this disease with each passing month. And right now, we know we're going to be safe if you do those handful of things that we said. Wear your mask. I mean, it's not like we don't have to go out. I mean, the shutting down, the mask is worth the mask supplants a shutdown. If we all wear our masks, we're going to be okay. And then wash your hands, stay 6 feet apart from people, don't gather in large crowds. So I personally am practicing that. I don't go out unless I need to, but I do go to Publix. I do go to the retail stores that I have to get my stuff, but it's always masked, always distant, and just vigilant about it, because you don't want this disease.
Let's talk about two things that are near and dear to my heart. The first one, as I'm a full-time real estate agent, talk a little bit about that. And what I'd like to share with everybody, and maybe you with new information, is that Pinecrest, being an affluent area, typically has a longer sales cycle and a longer time on market. And throughout much of the pandemic, that was the case. And in the last month, I have seen a significant drop of inventory and how long it's taking to get these higher priced homes under contract and ready for closing. Whereas we were talking about inventory somewhere between 20 and almost 30 months 6 months ago. We are now at a point where Pinecrest is at 6.2 months of inventory. Very, very healthy. In fact, that has turned into a seller's market of sorts. And That's the first topic. I want to see what you're feeling and hearing and seeing out there. And then the second one, I want to talk about a couple of restaurants because, listen, I didn't realize it, and I didn't ever consider myself a foodie, but I'm jonesing at times to get food from my favorite place. And it's either difficult or still somewhat impossible because, listen, there's no question that eating at a restaurant is very different than getting takeout from that same restaurant. So let's talk real estate. Joe, what do you know about real estate and what are you hearing on the street?
Well, I don't know much about real estate, Hal, but what I'm hearing on the street is that people are taking this opportunity to get out of dense places. And there's no place less dense than Pinecrest in Miami-Dade County. And I got to tell you, if I'm going to quarantine and spend 6 months at home, Pinecrest is the place to do that. So I think that that's likely what people have started to realize and perhaps have boosted the real estate market a bit. And that's good to hear. Look, our property values went up again this year. We've got one of the lowest tax rates in Miami-Dade County. We've got certainly crime is at an all-time low and down 50% from the day we incorporated, which is great news. We've got a budget surplus. We'll either put some money tonight back into the taxpayers' hands with a millage cut, or we'll put it into reserves. Pinecrest is fiscally healthy, well-run, and one of the most desirable places to live in all of Miami-Dade County.
That's great. I mean, amazing news considering we're in a pandemic and you've got lots of good things to talk about with the Pinecrest economy and how they're spending money. And I'll take a little side trip on that since there's an active thing going on that I think maybe not everyone, but some people are aware of. 136th Street is the dividing line between Pinecrest and Palmetto Bay. And there has been for several years a plan to upgrade that, understanding that the street itself is a county road, so neither Pinecrest nor Palmetto Bay can directly affect that. But tell us what the latest is and what we can expect for 136th Street.
Yeah, that's a great project. Pinecrest's contribution, it's a partnership between Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay, and Miami-Dade County, and a little bit of FDOT. Pinecrest won a significant amount of money in a grant that we're applying to this project. And it's not only this project, it's a handful of projects that will ultimately come together. So what the main project is, there's going to be a multi-use path, kind of like the old Cutler Road bike trail or the 57th Avenue bike trail out there, that's going to go between 57th Avenue, Old Cutler Road, and US 1. And that's going to be able to connect the old Cutler Trail and the Metro Rail, the Metro M Trail. So we're building little ladders of bikeways through the community, which is critically important nowadays since a lot of people out there riding their bikes. Now the county won't do bike lanes anymore. So now these are off-road facilities, much safer for kids and families to ride on. So that's coming. Palmetto Bay and Pinecrest are counties doing the project. In concert with that, they're going to be replacing the bridge over just east of 72nd Avenue. And subsequently, they'll be doing 2 traffic circles, one at that goofy intersection at 67th Avenue and Old Cutler Road, where you know that kind of messy, mucked up triangle is.
It certainly is. It's certainly right now.
And then they're going to put another one a little further south in Palmetto Bay, and that's going to relieve the traffic flow northbound in the morning and southbound in the afternoon, clear up a lot of stuff for people. So it is absolutely a real benefit to the community. And, I really want to thank Mayor Cunningham and the Palmetto Bay Council. They've just done a great job on this, great leadership by them. We're able to come together. One of the few times you get the 2 cities in the county together to do multiple projects in one area, which is going to have tremendous traffic benefits and multimodal benefits with the bicycle.
So let's talk restaurants. I'm getting hungry. It's getting toward dinner time, at least while we're recording this. So what have you been doing for food? I know that all of us have become chefs. I certainly have been eating almost all home-cooked meals, but what are you doing there, Joe, at your household?
I'm living off the land, man. I got all types of stuff out there. I'm ready. I'm ready for the apocalypse. Same thing everybody else is doing. We order. I don't go out. I still don't believe it's safe. I don't want to be in a restaurant, enclosed space like that. So I got to practice that. But no, ordering out, frequently. So it's a struggle.
In your mind, and I know that you don't have any control over this, but how do you see us hopefully resolving some of the problems that restaurateurs are having right now? I mean, for example, we have Wagons West at Sunnyland, which has been there for, I believe, over 35 years at this point. And I've spoken to the owner recently. He is trying desperately to work with the landlord on some rent reduction because he doesn't even have enough money coming in to cover approximately half of the rent that's due. He desperately wants to stay open and be a community resource. Do you see anything at a government level? Again, I know that you don't have control over that might be grease to keep these wheels moving forward.
Yeah, there are close to $400 million worth of CARES Act money, which is the federal government's of relief funding that's coming to Miami-Dade County. Now, there's an argument between the cities and the county on exactly how to split that money, and the cities are only getting a very small portion of it, and the county's getting the rest of it, but the county is spreading it across countywide. And what my hope is, what they'll be able to do, hopefully, is get to some rent abatement programs for restaurateurs. The whole purpose of that money was to make sure people didn't get laid off and small businesses stayed in business. And so hopefully that's happening. And as far as what Pinecrest is doing specifically, look, we changed our rules with outdoor dinings. We made it a completely administrative process. If the restaurateur and the shopping center owner can get together and figure out how to share the parking spaces, the Village of Pinecrest is there to administratively approve any of those requests and make it as easy as possible for people to convert. Other than that, they've lifted the restrictions on indoor dining, which is a positive thing, but it's just really not good enough. You know, you're likely in this for a long haul, and who knows when those restrictions will be further lifted. There is a bit of a debate on whether the restrictions on indoor dining were necessary. Some medical professionals tell us the worst thing you could possibly do is unmask dining indoors. And some will point to Broward County. They never had the restriction on indoors, and their rate was effectively lower than ours anyway. So that's a bit of controversy, but I think it's going to work. You know, like everything else we're doing here, again, there's no instruction booklet to this thing. So we're going to be, we'll be evaluating that as it goes forward. The interesting thing, how the medical folks told us the other day, no matter what happens with this disease, studying pandemics, this will likely be starting to run its course by the second quarter of 2021. So that means we're talking, if that's good news, that means March, April, May, right? So this is a long haul, right? We're going to be doing this for a while. So now it could be ugly or it could be good. So my word is wear your mask so we come out of this in the best case scenario, not the worst.
But it certainly seems like Pinecrest Council and the village itself is doing everything they can to keep restaurateurs moving forward, to take care of its citizens. Have you heard of any party incident, something that was negative that we're trying to avoid, or is everything just, I haven't seen anything. I love what's going on in Pinecrest. Anything we should be aware of, though?
No, we were really worried about the house parties that were happening in graduation season and June. And for the most part, those things have seemed to disappear. And thank God, I think people are using a little bit more common sense. When they crop up, people get sick. And so, no, I haven't heard, there's nothing. People in Pinecrest have pretty much, and business owners, the shoppers, the citizens have behaved very well through this whole thing. We've adopted the rules that we needed to, and I think we've come out in the better side of this than we could have otherwise. But nothing out there is a cause for alarm right now.
Joe, we know what we do at the end of these things. First of all, I hope that we don't have to have too many more of these, but it's a pleasure, as always, having you on. I'd like to talk about how people can get in touch with the village if they have any questions or problems. And then just any shout outs we need to address this time around?
Yeah, look, my cell phone number is always 305-606-2364. And we're always available, just trying to make sure that everybody who has a question can ask the question and get the right answer. And I want to thank the Village Council in Pinecrest. They've all done a great job. Councilwoman Anna Hokemer has really stepped up to the plate and done wonderful work with the rest of them, Miss Abbott Vice Mayor McDonald and Doug Kraft, just all-star team. We couldn't have a better group of people. And then our staff with Manager Galliano and our clerk Guido and Guanzo, just really killing it, answering the questions that need to be answered, and just staying as calm and reasonable as possible during a very unreasonable, uncalm time. So those guys are my heroes. So
100%. There are heroes. Everybody in Pinecrest or who shops in Pinecrest, we know it's working well. So again, get in touch with Joe if you have any questions. If you can't reach him, certainly reach out to Village Hall. And until next time, Joe, thanks again for your time.
Thanks, Al. You do great work, man. Thank you.